In this activity, you're going to use a number of different numerical indicators of development to gauge the level of development of a series of countries. These are on the table that you've already been provided with and which are on the next slide. However, before you start that, just remember that what an indicator is a signal or a sign about how developed a country is, and that also that development can be taken to mean wealth, but it has other aspects as well. So while we might consider a country's economic development, which impacts on different qualities of people's lives, it doesn't necessarily have to be just about money. So for example, as it says in the text here, the quality of life or the cultural development and the safety that people experience within a country, or their happiness, could all be measures of development too. So on this table, I've given you a selection of different indicators. These are shown on the top row in grey. So birth rate, for example, is one of the indicators. Down the side, A through to E are actually countries, but I haven't told you what the countries are. So the task is to try and rank these places in order of their level of development. Given that you've got quite a few different statistics, and the statistics themselves are in different forms, this is quite a difficult job, so you have to embark on some kind of data handling. One of the initial problems that you need to deal with is to assess whether the indicators, so for example birth rate again, if the figure for it is high or low, does that mean it's more or less developed? So from your population studies, for example, you will know that a low birth rate is often associated with more developed countries. So in this case, country B is actually the most developed on the table, whereas country D is the least developed. So I would recommend that your first task is actually to go across your development indicators and put an L for low or an H for high to show whether the development indicator should be high or low for a more developed country. So I've done the first two for you. So birth rate should be low for a more developed country, but adult literacy should be high, and those figures are indicated here. Okay, and you can do the same thing all the way across the table. Once you've done that, you need to figure out a way to convert the various statistics that you've got into a form that you can compare them effectively. So at the moment, you can't really compare, for example, the birth rates, because it's a number per 1,000 people in a population, with something like the natural increase of population, where it's given as a percentage. Okay? And of course, the way round this is to give each of the numbers, each of the statistics for each country and for each indicator, a rank number. So taking birth rate again, we would rank them in order of lowest to most developed, going from 1 to 5. So the highest number indicates the greater level of development. So in this case, we would have 47 given the number 1. The next lowest number is 26, so that get number 2. Then it's 14, which is 3. 12 is 4, and then 5 for 11. And if you go through this process all the way across the table, you'll get a series of numbers which represent the rank order of development. And then what you do is you simply total up those ranks and write the results into this column here. And the highest number will be the most developed, the lowest number will be the least developed. And there you have made a comparison and a ranking of the 5 countries that you've been given at the start. So that's what you need to do, that's how you do it. What you need to get going on now is actually doing it for yourself. So off you go.